Have you ever like tried to explain something really complex and just felt like
Yeah.
you were losing your audience? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You're super passionate about it. You have all the data to back it up,
Mm-hmm.
but it just doesn't seem to like land.
Yeah,
Well, that's where data storytelling comes in, and that is what we are diving into today.
that's right. It's really all about taking that data and weaving it into a narrative
Yeah.
that people connect with.
We have a really fascinating excerpt here
Okay.
from MBA AI Ejecutivo, Storytelling Basado en Datos.
Oh, cool.
And I'm very curious to see how it can help all of us become better storytellers.
Absolutely. Data storytelling is just becoming so essential these days.
Right.
I mean, we are just bombarded with information constantly. How do we cut through the noise, you know?
Exactly. And think about like all the presentations and reports, even just conversations where you're trying to get a point across.
Right.
What makes a data story stand out from the crowd?
Well, one of the key things is that a good data story makes an emotional connection. Right.
You know, we might forget a statistic,
Right.
but we'll remember a face, a name, a story that makes us feel something.
So it's not just about the logic and numbers. It's about tapping into that human element to
Exactly.
make it memorable.
Exactly. Think about like a charity
Okay.
trying to raise awareness about child poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Just stating the raw numbers can be impactful.
Yeah.
But telling a specific child's story, weaving in data points about their life, their struggles,
Right.
that's what really creates a lasting impression.
Okay, so we're grabbing attention and making it personal.
Yes.
What else makes data storytelling so effective?
Well, it helps us simplify complex information.
Okay.
Data can be intimidating,
Oh, yeah.
but a story gives it context. You know, it's like a map guiding us through unfamiliar territory.
Instead of drowning in a sea of numbers, we're given that life raft,
Exact.
a narrative to help us
Right.
navigate.
Mm.
I'm starting to see the appeal here.
And, you know, when we can understand the data, we can make better decisions.
Imagine a business owner
Right.
trying to decide where to allocate resources.
Mm-hmm.
A well-crafted data story can highlight trends, pinpoint areas of growth, and ultimately lead to more informed choices.
So data storytelling is about persuasion,
Yes.
but it's also about clarity,
Mm-hmm.
making information accessible.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does feel like a bit of a superpower.
It does.
Our source breaks down effective data storytelling into 3 key elements:
Okay.
narrative, data, and visualization.
Love it.
Let's dig into those a bit.
Okay.
Think of them as the pillars
Yeah.
that support your entire data story.
Okay, let's start with narrative.
Okay.
I mean, I get the basics of storytelling,
Yeah.
beginning, middle, and end.
Mm-hmm.
But how does that apply to data?
Well, it's the same structure,
Okay.
just with data as the protagonist.
Oh, okay.
You set the scene by introducing the problem or question
Right.
you're exploring, and then the data becomes the journey.
Revealing insights and leading us to a conclusion or a call to action.
So instead of once upon a time, we might have sales have been declining,
Exactly.
and then the data becomes the plot twists.
Yes, the plot twists and turns, exactly.
Okay, so now when we talk about data,
Yeah.
it's not just about throwing any numbers you can find into the mix.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So what are the data pitfalls we should be aware of when we're crafting our story?
Well, I think choosing irrelevant or unreliable data can really undermine your whole story.
Yeah.
We need to be selective, using data that directly supports our narrative and ensuring it comes from reputable sources.
It's like building a house.
Yes.
You wouldn't use flimsy materials for the foundation.
Exactly. And
Right.
just like a blueprint guides the construction,
Right.
the context guides our data interpretation. So
so-
clearly explain what the data represents, why it's significant, and what conclusions we can draw from it.
Okay, let's move on to visualization.
Okay.
I have to admit, this is the part I get most excited about. Making data visually appealing can make all the difference, right?
Absolutely. Visualization is about making data digestible and engaging,
Right.
turning numbers into something people can actually grasp.
Yeah.
Charts, graphs, maps. These tools help us see the story hidden within the data.
I've dabbled in making my own charts, but I have to say,
Yeah.
some of the data visualizations I've seen online are truly impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Are there any specific tools you would recommend to elevate our data visualization game?
There are some incredible software options out there.
Okay.
Tableau and Power BI are really popular choices. They let you create interactive and professional-looking visualizations without needing a design degree.
That's amazing. It's amazing how like a well-chosen chart can just suddenly make data click for people.
Oh, yeah.
But having the right tools is one thing. How do we actually put all of this together
Right.
What's the process for building a compelling data story?
Well, our source lays out a really practical step-by-step guide,
Yeah, okay.
and it all starts with defining your goal. What are you hoping to achieve with this data story?
Right.
Are you trying to persuade, inform, or maybe even inspire action?
It's like setting off on a journey.
Yeah.
You need to know your destination before you can map out the route.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Let's say you work for a company
Okay.
that's trying to launch a new product. Your goal might be to convince investors
Right.
that there's a real market demand for this product.
Okay.
You could use data to showcase consumer trends, competitor analysis, projected sales figures, all woven into a narrative that paints this compelling picture of success.
So you're not just presenting data, you're presenting a vision
Yes.
that's backed by evidence.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, what's next?
Well, knowing your audience is crucial.
Right.
Who are you trying to reach?
Yeah.
What's their level of understanding? What are their interests and concerns?
You wouldn't use the same language and tone
No.
when talking to like data scientists as you would when presenting to a group of high school students.
Exactly. Tailoring your approach is key.
Right.
A technical audience might appreciate a deep dive into the methodology,
Yeah.
while a general audience might need things simplified a little bit.
So we've got our goal. We know our audience now. Comes the fun part.
Yes.
Finding the story within the data.
I love this part.
Where do we even begin?
Well, this is where you get to be a data detective.
Okay.
Look for patterns, trends, or those unexpected insights that kind of jump out at you.
It's like the data's whispering secrets, so we have to be attentive enough to hear them.
Yes.
I like that metaphor.
Ask yourself, what is this data trying to tell me?
Right.
What connections can I make? What's the bigger picture?
Okay, once we've unearthed those hidden stories, what's the next step?
Adding the human touch.
Sure.
This is what brings the data to life.
Right.
Instead of just presenting dry statistics,
Yeah.
connect them to real-world experiences.
So instead of saying 25% of customers reported satisfaction with the service,
Right.
we could share a story about a specific customer whose problem was solved.
Exactly. Highlighting how the data reflects a wider trend. Exactly. It makes the data relatable and memorable. Yeah. People might not remember the exact percentage, right, but they'll remember the story of that individual customer.
That's a good point. Okay, so we've got our narrative, our carefully selected data,
Yes.
and we've infused it with that human touch.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's time to make it visually stunning.
Yes. Visualization is where we get to choose the best way to present the data.
Right.
A line graph might be perfect for showing trends over time,
Okay.
while a pie chart might be better for illustrating proportions.
And with all the amazing software that we talked about earlier,
I know.
there's really no excuse for boring data visualization.
Definitely not. The goal is clarity.
Yeah.
We want to illuminate the data, not overwhelm the audience.
Okay, so we've covered the why and the how of data storytelling.
Right.
But I'm curious to see it in action.
Yes.
Can we dive into some real-world examples?
Absolutely. Our source provides 2 cases that really showcase the power of data storytelling.
Okay.
One tackles the issue of child poverty.
That's a topic where data can be particularly impactful.
Yes.
How is storytelling used in this case?
Well, instead of just stating statistics about child poverty, this data story introduces us to Sarah,
Okay.
a young girl living in a disadvantaged community.
Okay.
We see her face,
Yeah.
hear about her dreams,
Uh-huh.
and understand the challenges she faces daily.
So we're immediately drawn in by that human connection.
Exactly.
It's no longer just about abstract numbers. It's about a real child's life.
Right. And then the data comes in to support Sarah's story.
Okay.
We might see a bar chart comparing school enrollment rates in her community to the national average,
Oh, interesting.
or a line graph showing the rising cost of living in her area.
So the data provides that evidence and context,
Yes.
really painting a clear picture of the problem.
And finally, the story concludes with a call to action,
Okay.
inviting the audience to support organizations working to break the cycle of poverty. It might highlight successful initiatives in similar communities, showcasing the positive impact that donations can make.
It's amazing how a well-told data story can not only inform but also inspire action.
Yeah, it is.
What about the other example?
This one comes from the world of digital marketing.
Okay.
It tells the story of a small business that managed to double its online sales in a short period of time.
That's something a lot of people can relate to.
Right.
Everyone's looking for that magic formula for success.
Yeah.
How did they use data to tell their story?
Well, they started by outlining their initial challenges.
Okay.
Low website traffic,
Uh-huh.
limited brand awareness, and stagnant sales.
So they set the stage by laying out the problem and their approach to solving it.
Exactly. And here's where the data comes in.
Okay.
They used clear and concise visuals, perhaps a line graph showing the steady increase in website traffic over time,
Right.
or a bar chart comparing conversion rates before and after the campaign.
So the data backs up their claims?
Yeah.
And gives credibility to their success
So
story.
exactly. Instead of just saying, hey, we did great,
Yeah.
they showed the audience the numbers proving the effectiveness of their strategy.
These examples really highlight how versatile data storytelling can be.
They do.
We've seen it used for social good, for business growth.
Yeah.
The possibilities seem endless.
And the great thing is, our source provides a list of resources
Oh, fantastic.
categorized by their purpose.
Okay.
Whether you need help analyzing data, creating visualizations, or presenting your story, there's a tool out there for you.
It's like having a data storytelling toolkit right at your fingertips.
Exactly.
But even with the best tools, I imagine there are still challenges to overcome.
Oh, yeah.
What advice does our source offer for aspiring data storytellers?
Well, one piece of advice that really resonated with me is to keep it concise.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get carried away when you're excited about the data.
Yeah.
But, no one wants to be bombarded with an avalanche of numbers and figures.
It's about finding that sweet spot, you know?
Providing enough detail to support your story
Yeah.
without overwhelming your audience.
Yeah.
Think of it like a good meal.
Okay.
You want a satisfying portion,
Right.
not an overwhelming feast.
So quality over quantity when it comes to data points.
Exactly.
What else should we keep in mind?
Well, the source also emphasizes the importance of balance.
Okay.
Finding that perfect harmony between logic and emotion. Data provides that logical foundation, the evidence,
Right.
but the narrative is what brings it to life,
Okay.
making it relatable and engaging.
It reminds me of like a good song.
Yeah.
You need the structure of the melody and the rhythm,
Right.
but it's the lyrics and the emotion that truly resonate with the listener.
Exactly. And finally, don't be afraid to seek feedback.
Right.
And iterate on your story.
Okay.
Sharing your work with others can help you identify areas for improvement.
Yeah.
Whether it's clarifying a concept, strengthening your visuals, or refining your narrative flow.
It's like having a fresh set of eyes on your masterpiece,
Yeah.
helping you polish it to perfection.
Data storytelling is a continuous learning process.
Yeah.
The more you practice, the more confident and skilled you'll become.
You know what's really exciting is that everyone has data that they can use to tell their own stories.
Right.
It might be your personal fitness journey,
Yeah.
your company's growth trajectory, or even like the impact of a local community project.
We're surrounded by data,
Right.
just waiting to be transformed into these captivating narratives.
Right.
It's up to us to unearth those stories and share them with the world.
This deep dive has been a real eye-opener for me.
Yeah.
I feel like I've gained a whole new perspective on data.
Yeah.
It's no longer just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about the stories they can tell,
That's it.
the connections they can make.
And with the knowledge and tools we've discussed,
Right.
you're well equipped to embark on your own data storytelling adventure.
So if you're ready to unlock the power of data and transform yourself into a master storyteller,
Yeah,
get out there and start exploring.
exactly.
Who knows, your next data story might just change the world.
The power of data storytelling is limitless.
Absolutely.
So keep learning, keep experimenting, and keep sharing those amazing data-driven stories.
That's it for this deep dive into the world of data storytelling.
Great.
We hope you enjoyed the journey and feel inspired to start weaving data into your own narratives.
Remember, data is more than just numbers.
Yeah.
It's a source of insights, stories, and connections.
Right.
Just waiting to be discovered.
So go out there, embrace the power of data, and start telling your story.
Yes.